The doorbell rang in the middle of Noah's 14th birthday dinner. I opened the door with his cake in my hands and nearly dropped it. My sister Rachel stood on the porch. 10 years had passed since the night she left her 4-year-old son at my apartment with one backpack and a note. Please love him when I can't. She looked older, thinner, almost frightened. But she didn't say, I'm sorry. She looked past me at Noah and whispered, that child was never yours to raise. The room went silent. I set the cake down and stepped outside. What did you just say? Emma, please, I need to explain. You had 10 years. I know. No, you don't get to disappear and come back on his birthday claiming him. I'm not here to take him. Then why are you here? Rachel reached into her bag and handed me a thick envelope. Because Mark arranged everything. My stomach dropped. Mark was my husband. He had died 2 years earlier from a sudden heart attack. He had helped me raise Noah. He taught him to ride a bike, took him to school, and sat through every fever. Noah called him Uncle Mark. I opened the envelope. Inside were old bank records, emails, and letters in Mark's handwriting. One sentence made my hands go cold. If you stay away, Emma never has to know. Rachel's eyes were full of tears. Noah is Mark's son. For a second, I laughed, not because it was funny, but because the truth was too terrible to understand. No. It happened before you married him. We were engaged. I know. Rachel looked down. You and Mark had that terrible fight. You gave him back the ring. He came to my apartment drunk. I was angry with you. He was angry with you. And we made one unforgivable mistake. I slapped her. The sound cracked through the porch. Rachel didn't move. You let me raise my husband's child? I never planned that. You left him at my door. Because Mark told me to. I stared at her. When Noah was 4, I told Mark I couldn't live with a secret anymore. I wanted to tell you everything. He panicked. He said if I told you, he'd take Noah from me. That makes no sense. He had money, lawyers, a stable home. I had debt, no steady job, and I was drinking too much. He kept messages and photos from my worst nights. He said he could prove I was unfit. I wanted to call her a liar. Then I saw the bank records. Mark had sent Rachel money every month for almost 3 years. And 2 days before she left Noah with me, he transferred $25,000. You took money? Rachel closed her eyes. Yes. So you sold your son? No, I was terrified. Mark said Noah would be safe with you. He said you loved him already. He promised he'd arrange everything. You still could have come back. I did. I stopped. Rachel pulled a bundle of envelopes from her bag. Each one had my name on it. Some were marked Return to Sender. I wrote from Denver, then Phoenix. I called too. Mark answered once and told me never to contact you again. That's impossible. He changed your number after I left, remember? I did. Mark said we were getting too many spam calls. Rachel continued. I came to your house when Noah was 7. My breath caught. You were at work. Mark opened the door. He told me you hated me and Noah barely remembered me. Then he said if I returned, he'd tell Noah I abandoned him because I didn't love him. I shook my head. You expect me to believe Mark built some giant conspiracy? No, I think he was scared. Scared of losing you. Scared of losing Noah. Scared one truth would destroy everything. Through the window, I saw Noah standing near his untouched birthday cake. And suddenly, old memories changed shape. Mark had insisted on handling every document involving Noah. When I mentioned adoption, he always said, Rachel could come back someday. Better not stir things up. And the first time Noah accidentally called him Dad, Mark had gone into the garage and cried. I had thought it was love. Now I didn't know what it was. I opened the door. Noah, your friends need to go home. He looked at me. I heard you. My heart sank. How much? Enough. Rachel stepped inside. Noah stared at her. You're my mother? Rachel nodded. Yes. And Uncle Mark was my father? Another nod. Noah turned to me. You knew? No, I swear I didn't. He searched my face, then ran upstairs and slammed his bedroom door. For the next hour, Rachel and I sat across from each other at the kitchen table. She admitted the first years after leaving were ugly. She drank, moved between jobs, and hated herself. Eventually, she entered treatment, got sober, and rebuilt her life. She now worked at a dental office outside Seattle. So why now? I asked. Mark has been dead for 2 years. Rachel looked toward the stairs. Because I was afraid you'd shut the door. I did. I know. That still doesn't explain today. Before she could answer, the stairs creaked. Noah came down carrying a small black box. I recognized it. It had belonged to Mark. Noah put it on the table. I found this 3 months ago. Inside were photographs of Noah as a baby with Rachel, and letters. Rachel's letters. Not returned. Opened. Hidden. My stomach twisted. At the bottom was a folded paper with an email address. Rachel's. I looked at Noah. You contacted her? He nodded. When? 7 weeks ago. I felt another stab of betrayal. You've been talking to her for 7 weeks? His eyes filled. I didn't know how to tell you. You could have trusted me. I was trying to protect you. Those words stopped me. They were the same excuse every adult around him had used while hiding the truth. Rachel looked at him. Noah, don't do that. Do what? Carry our mistakes for us. Then she looked at me. He asked me to come today. I turned to Noah. Why? His voice cracked. Because I'm tired of having a family made out of secrets. No one spoke. Then Noah faced Rachel. Did you come to take me? Rachel stood slowly. No. She wanted to hug him. I could see it, but she didn't move closer. I came because you deserved the truth. Emma raised you. She stayed when I didn't. Biology doesn't erase 10 years. Then why did you say I was never hers to raise? Rachel looked at me. Because I was angry when she opened the door. Angry at myself. Angry at Mark. Angry at 10 lost years. She took a breath. What I should have said was, Emma should never have been forced to raise you because of our lie. That broke something inside me. For 10 years, I imagined Rachel living freely, never thinking about the child she left. Now I understood that she had lived with regret. That didn't make her innocent. But it made the story different. Noah wiped his face. Then he asked, Who is my real mom? Rachel and I looked at each other. Finally, she said, I gave birth to you. I whispered, and I raised you. Noah stood between us for a few seconds. Then he crossed the room and threw his arms around me. You're still my mom, he whispered. I held him and cried harder than I had cried at Mark's funeral. When Noah pulled away, he faced Rachel. She looked terrified. He didn't hug her. He only said, If you disappear again, don't come back. Rachel nodded. I won't. You can't promise that. No, she said softly, but I can prove it one day at a time. The birthday candles had burned themselves out. Noah looked at the ruined cake and gave a shaky laugh. Worst birthday ever. I laughed through my tears. Rachel did too. Then Noah said, Can we still eat the cake? So we did. The 3 of us sat there until midnight, surrounded by letters, photographs, and pieces of a past none of us could change. Rachel did not become his mother again that night. I did not forgive her that night. And I couldn't erase every good memory of Mark simply because he had done something terrible. But one thing changed. There were no more secrets. Rachel came back for dinner the next week. then again the week after that. 3 months later, Noah hugged her for the first time. Almost a year after that birthday, he asked me something I knew would eventually come. Would it hurt you if I called Rachel Mom too? I told him the truth. A little. He looked guilty, so I took his face in my hands. But love is not a chair, Noah. You don't have to make someone stand up before another person can sit down. That night, after he went to bed, I opened Mark's old black box one last time. At the bottom was a note I had never seen. Emma, if you find this, then the truth survived me. I told myself I was protecting you. Really, I was protecting the life I was afraid to lose. You deserved the choice I stole from you. So did Rachel. Most of all, so did Noah. I'm sorry, I read it twice. Then I folded it and put it back. For 10 years, I thought the worst thing my sister had ever done was leave her child at my door. I was wrong. The worst thing was that all of us had let fear decide what love should look like. Rachel lost 10 years. I lost the truth. Noah grew up inside a story written by adults who thought silence could protect him. But in the end, he was the bravest one of us, because he was the first to say, "No more secrets." And this time we listened.